Fabrizio Romano on Lucas Bergvall, Fabrizio Romano on Tottenham and Savinho, Tim Sherwood on Spurs signing a striker in the summer transfer window, and Juventus remain interested in Richarlison. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hi everybody, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel and to another edition of the Daily Tottenham News Headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and report. I'm leader Dorset Spur, and if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So here are the main headlines today. Fabrizio Romano on Lucas Bergvall. He's expected to leave the club this summer. Bergvall has told Tottenham he wants to play on a regular basis. He's ready to take a different step, and leaving Tottenham this summer is something he has to do, according to the player, because he wants to play, and at Tottenham the feeling from him is that after signing Fernandes and Tonali, and they're not going to play in Europe this year, he does not want to spend the season on the bench or playing 10 minutes every 2 weeks. So for Bergvall, there has been a bid from Nottingham Forest, talks with Newcastle, and both clubs are working for Lucas Bergvall. Both clubs are in contact. There is a conversation ongoing with both clubs. The situation with Lucas Bergvall is one to watch. In terms of this transfer for Lucas Bergvall, David Ornstein from The Athletic has stated that Spurs are looking for around £60 million. So Fabrizio Romano on Tottenham and Savinho. On Tottenham, in terms of incomings, I stand by my news in May, June, July. I maintain my information. Tottenham wants Savinho. Tottenham will go for Savinho. There are negotiations ongoing, club to club, Tottenham and Manchester City. In order to get the green light for the move, Manchester City would need a replacement for Savinho. That's the point. The player is very keen on the move to Tottenham. So Tim Sherwood on Spurs signing a striker in the summer transfer window. Do they need a striker? Well, perhaps he might kickstart Dominic Solanke. You just don't know. You've got Richarlison as well. Whatever people think about Richarlison, he's got 11 goals in a really poor Tottenham team, and he helped them stay in the Premier League. I'm not saying he's the answer, but I was crying out for him to play because I've seen him do it in that environment for Everton before and keep them in the league. I think he was a player who really stood up. I do think he might be moved on now though. There is another striker out there. I will trust De Zerbi to go out there and find him, and he might be someone from left field. He's shown he likes the Danny Welbecks, a big 9, someone that holds the ball up. João Pedro was at Brighton. It will be someone with credentials like that. Solanke might be the answer, though you don't know. Djed Spence helped England claim a bronze medal at the World Cup after 10-goal thriller against France in Miami on Saturday evening. The defender started at left back and played a key role in the 6-4 victory, winning a penalty that made it 5-3 after France's comeback to 4-3 from 4-0 down at half-time. A trademark run down the left saw him upended by Gusto as Saka slotted home the spot kick to make it 5-3 after France came back to 4-3 after trailing 4-0 at half-time. England were outstanding to take the lead in the break with the goals from Rice, Konsa and 2 from Saka. However, France came roaring back in the second half and pulled it back to 4-3 in the 66th minute, and Mbappe on target twice. France missed the chance before a trademark burst down the left from Djed led to the penalty, Saka's hat-trick and 5-3 on 87 minutes. Dembele pulled another back before Jude Bellingham's solo goal in 98 minutes saw England home. Djed completed the full shift as England secured the best finish in the tournament since 1966. On Sunday, Djed Spence wrote the following on social media. Djed Spence World Cup campaign has now come to an end. Of course, not the position we wanted, but so many positives to take from this tournament. Making history and being the best England team since '66 is something to be proud of. Made some unforgettable memories on this journey, and it was a true honour to represent my country on the world's biggest stage. Thank you for the support. And Gazzetta in Italy have again reported that Juventus remain interested in Tottenham's 29-year-old Brazilian forward, Richarlison. Okay, so my thoughts on some of these stories. Well, this Bergvall thing is just rumbling on. I think £60 million is a good price for Bergvall. I think if you could get anywhere near that, I think Tottenham are doing really well to get it. I think it's true. I think he sees it, that he will be a bit part player maybe next season. But for me, I think he needs to be looking further than that. I don't think it's done and dusted that that's all he's going to get. I think there will be opportunities for him. I think, you'll get injuries, suspensions. You've got the FA Cup, you've got the League Cup. There may be opportunities in there. But he's a young man. He's had the taste. He's had the flavour, as Mickey Flanagan would say. And so he wants to go all out there and wants to keep playing. Forest, Newcastle, okay. No bigger clubs looking at him at this moment in time. So that kind of tells you that maybe other clubs don't believe he's ready yet either. So yeah, we'll see how that one pans out. But if we've already had offers in the ranges of sort of 40 million plus, with Tottenham saying they want top dollar, I think that's the right thing to do. We don't need to sell him, so let's just keep an eye out on that one. Again, another story that keeps on rumbling on is the one about Savinho. I do think this one's probably done and dusted. I think they've probably already agreed a fee. They've already agreed everything. It's just about waiting for them to get their player in so that they can make the announcement. I think that's the case. They still haven't announced Anderson and so on. So I do think these deals are probably done in the background and just waiting for the right time. So that's why people like Fabrizio Romano are able to kind of say, yeah, it's done. They're always interested and so on and so forth. So yeah, I do see that. Congratulations to Djed Spence for getting a bronze medal in the World Cup. I think he's done really well. He's done his stock no disharm at all. There's another one they're kind of talking about moving on, and again, this one, I get it, he wants to be the number one, but Pedro Porro is in the final as well, and he's had a really good World Cup, and he did really well for us last season, and in previous seasons as well, to be fair. And Djed has been able to play left-sided and right-sided, so I think there's more opportunities for Djed than he thinks maybe, but again, you cannot be nostalgic. I have to keep saying this. You cannot be nostalgic if a player has got good money on him and he wants to go and you believe you have enough strength in depth to cover that player, then fair enough. For me personally, I don't think we do. If you take Djed Spence out and anything happens to Porro, who's going in there? So for me, I do think it would be a mistake to let him go. But you have to trust the manager. You have to trust the manager to do what he thinks is the right thing to do. And finally, Tim Sherwood about the striker. I absolutely believe what we need a striker. I do think that Dominic Solanke can do better. I do think he can provide a little bit more than he has been doing. And I think hopefully under De Zerbi he may get that. But he's been plagued with injuries since he came to Tottenham, which is ironic considering he wasn't injured at Bournemouth. And it just really hasn't taken off for him. But you can see, when he does play, you can see what he brings to the team in terms of hold-up play, bringing players in and so on. And he can score goals. And I would also suggest that Tim Sherwood is bang on the money when he talks about Richarlison. I don't want Richarlison to be my out-and-out number one striker, for sure. When he came in, I thought he would be the backup to Harry Kane. I thought that was perfect. But I don't think he's the backup to Solanke. I think we need better than that. So I do think it's time for him to move on, even though he may not want to, because I think he wants to repay the money that was paid out for him. But I think it's time's ticking on. And we need an out-and-out striker, someone who's going to bang them goals in on a regular basis, and neither of those two are doing that at the moment. So, okay, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'm leader Dorset Spur. If you want to come over and say hi on my channel, I'd be more than grateful to have you. If not, no problem. I'll see you on the next one. And as always, up the Spurs.